Ash Ketchum. We all know him, and we all have mixed opinions on him. He's the eternal 10-year-old boy from Pallet Town who dreams of becoming a Pokemon master. But after over 800 episodes, it's not hard to see why he's become the butt of everyone's jokes, since he's never actually won a single Pokemon League. Except maybe the Orange Islands and Battle Frontier, but those don't really count. Ash has become such a bumbling and hopeless protagonist over the years that a lot of people have given up hope for him to ever achieve his dream, and have since stopped watching the show altogether. I don't really blame those people, except to me that says that they haven't watched the XY and XY&Z seasons yet. In which case, they should. Seriously, watch them, they're good, I promise. The writers actually know what they're doing this time around, so they're not like previous seasons. If you actually were planning to get around to watching the new seasons at some point, then for your sake in this video, I guess I should also mention heavy spoilers are coming up. So turn back now if you want to see what happens for yourself. Ash has been written as such a competent and likable trainer and character this time around that I actually believe he very well might win the Kalos League. And here are my reasons as to why. Number 1. Ash has become a really strong trainer. He's not the same stupid little kid who makes dumb and obvious mistakes in battles anymore. Out of all his Kalos gym battles, Ash has won the badge on his first try in every gym except the first and the 8th gym. He has been able to come up with numerous strategies on the spot that have earned him his victories, such as Froakie climbing up Onyx's rock tomb against Grant, Frogadier overcoming Ramos's Weepin' Bell and Go-Goat despite being at a type disadvantage, Ash embracing his own unique battling style to overcome Karina and her Mega Lucario, Goodra's smart use of Rain Dance to cure paralysis and clear away electric terrain in the battle against Clement, Hawlucha shattering Spritzy's Trick Room when taking on Valerie, and the brilliant strategy Frogadier, Talonflame, and Pikachu had to counter Future Sight against Olympia. He's even taken on champion Diantha, twice. Obviously Ash didn't win either of those times because if he did, there would be no point in him entering the Kalos League at all. He could be declared champion right then and there. But even Diantha admits at one point that if a specific attack had landed, she would have lost. If that doesn't speak volumes for Ash's skill for the champion to acknowledge him, I don't know what will. Ash was able to come up with all of these tricks, some with preparation and others completely on the fly. He adapts to the situation incredibly quickly, and I think this trait will definitely help him stand out in the Kalos League. This leads me to my second reason. Number 2. Ash has a really solid Pokemon team this time around. Pikachu, Hawlucha, Talonflame, Noivern, and of course, Greninja. Ash's team of Pokemon is undeniably solid. It doesn't matter how clever or smart the trainer is if he or she doesn't have a good team of Pokemon behind them. But Ash has that covered pretty damn well. Together, they've accomplished some pretty impressive stuff, even outside of the gym battles. Noivern took on a Zapdos, Talonflame took on a Moltres, Pikachu overcame Mega Lucario despite not being able to Mega Evolve as well, and do I even need to mention the whole Ash Greninja thing going on here? The show is putting so much time and effort into emphasizing the potential this fusion has, dedicating entire episodes to training and showing the raw growth and development as Ash and Greninja work to master this exclusive power. I mean, screw Mega Evolution. Ash has got something entirely unique to him and him alone that no one else has. I strongly believe that Ash's Pokemon have proven themselves capable of great things. Great enough, perhaps, to carry Ash to the top of the Kalos League. This isn't even taking into account the fact that he also has a wicked strong Goodra at his disposal. True, it isn't part of Ash's team right now at the time of this recording, but he could easily call upon Goodra and bring it back into action at any time. Even if Ash goes the extra mile and brings in some of his older Pokemon like he has done in the past for previous Pokemon Leagues, I believe Ash would now possess the intuition to recognize the potential advantage he would be at if he brought in any of his noticeably stronger and dependable Pokemon, like Charizard, Infernape, Sceptile, or Snorlax. With the right team and strategies, holy shit, Ash could absolutely clean house in the Kalos League. Number 3. Ash's rivals might not be strong enough to beat him. As long as we don't face another Tobias situation again, I believe that there are only 4 trainers that could stand in Ash's way of winning the Kalos League. Alon, Sanpei, Sawyer, and Tierno, and we'll talk about each of them one by one, starting with Alon. There's no doubt that Alon is an incredibly strong trainer. He kind of has to be if he wants to defeat Mega Evolved Pokemon. Despite Ash pitting Greninja's strongest form against Alon's Mega Charizard twice, he hasn't been able to defeat him. Granted, the battles were very close, and at both times the duo was still getting used to being in the Ash Greninja form. If Ash and Greninja managed to get full control over the power in time for the Kalos League, they might be strong enough to take down Alon in a third attempt. However, Alon has gone on record saying that he's not entering the Kalos League, so he might not even be someone to bring into consideration here at all. But if he were to change his mind, I'm confident that he would be a difficult opponent for Ash to overcome. We'll have to wait and see what happens when the whole confrontation with Team Flare reaches its climax. Something tells me Ash and Alon will battle again, and it will be a game changer one way or another. Sanpei is Ash's rival from the Ninja Village. Although, despite their collaborations in 4 episodes thus far, the two have only ever battled twice. Ash lost the first time in the episode A Rush of Ninja Wisdom, and even though they battled again at the end of the episode A Stealthy Challenge, we never actually saw who won that time. They never mentioned the outcome either in their third meeting in the episode The Legend of the Ninja Hero, so I'm guessing we'll never know who won that battle at this point. It's a bit harder for me to make a guess about how Ash would fare against Sanpei in the Kalos League, assuming he's entering at all, if we're only going off of one official loss. Even though Sanpei is definitely strong, his loss against his brother Nihei and the latter's Venusaur is at least some proof that Sanpei is not unbeatable. Even though Ash and Sanpei both have a Greninja, I really think the Ash Greninja transformation would be too much for Sanpei to handle, so if these two were to clash in the league, I think Ash would be able to win this one, though I'm not necessarily saying that it would be easy. Then there's Sawyer. With every battle the two have had in the past, it seemed to me that Sawyer was just never going to be able to beat Ash. But then he did. In the third clash, right before Ash's 8th gym battle, Sawyer managed to finally win against Ash in a 3-on-3 match. Granted, the fact that Ash and Greninja couldn't transform during that battle surely contributed heavily to the loss. But Sawyer himself was no slouch either. His other Pokemon were able to take down Hawlucha and Noivern prior to Greninja being brought in. Sawyer has definitely come a long way since his first meeting with Ash. He even obtained his 8th badge before Ash did, so we'll most likely see these two battle again in the league. It's difficult for me to predict who might win this one though. Sawyer has come a long way, and I doubt he'd ever want to let up even just a little bit with all this momentum he probably has from finally surpassing someone he has idolized. But at the same time, the loss took a tremendous toll on Ash and Greninja's confidence, and losing in the 8th gym sure didn't help either. The two have since bounced back from all of that, as Ash always does after a major loss, but I think this one in particular has made Ash and Greninja grow strong enough that it will make a victory for Ash over Sawyer in the Kalos League all the more meaningful. Finally, there's Tierno. Maybe it's kind of a stretch to call them legitimate rivals, as the two have battled a lot less often than, say, Sawyer for example. We know Tierno is earning gym badges too, so I think it's pretty likely we will see him in the league even if he doesn't battle Ash. But Tierno and Ash have only battled 3 times. Both of them won a match during the summer camp episodes, and the last time Tierno battled Ash, the latter was using his Goodra and absolutely dominated. It's hard to say for sure how much Tierno has improved since then, and we don't know how he would stack up against Ash Greninja just yet. Based on what we've seen of Tierno's ability as a trainer though thus far, I don't think he'll be good enough to take Ash down in the Kalos League. And number 4. Ash's relationship with Serena might be a game changer. This one is probably the weakest argument I have, so it's going to take me a bit longer to explain myself. Please bear with me. I will definitely admit that it's highly debatable. The fact of the matter is that we know Serena has a huge crush on Ash, but we just don't know if she'll ever finally act on her feelings and just tell him, or if Ash would even return her feelings. So much about this is up in the air right now, so everything I have to say here is completely subjective and should not be taken as fact. You're free to believe whatever you want. I'm starting to believe this might be Ash's final season as the lead protagonist of the show, and that when the anime transitions into the adaptation for Sun and Moon, we might see a major change in the show's structure, such as the introduction of a new protagonist entirely. That's a bold claim to make, I know, but please hear me out on this. If this truly were to be Ash's final season, that we follow him through anyway, what better way to send him off than to have him finally win a Pokemon League, and finally get together with one of his female companions like the fans have been asking for years. I don't think it's totally out of the realm of possibility. Think about it. The writers might claim that Ash is still 10 years old, but over the past 2 seasons, Ash has been written to demonstrate much more maturity. He battles much smarter and more thoughtfully. He has yet to say or do anything really childish or cringeworthy on the same level as the Black and White seasons. It might just be me, but I think Ash at least looks a little bit older, or at least he's enjoying having teeth anyways. And the way Ash portrays himself around others has led him to become someone that other people look up to. Instead of focusing on his inexperience as a trainer, Ash's character has put more emphasis on what he already knows and is good at, and that has portrayed him as someone other people look up to. This is completely different from how the story has portrayed him in the past. Serena, Clement, and Sawyer are all continuously inspired by Ash as a person for who he is and what he believes in. All I'm getting at here is that even if we don't ever see him actually age, I think the writers have portrayed Ash to be even slightly more grown up already, even if it is just in his behavior. This is why I don't think it's completely impossible for Ash to remain forever oblivious to Serena's feelings towards him, or that he wouldn't feel the same way. Granted, I'm not 100% positive that Ash would suddenly change and fall in love with Serena just because she told him she loves him. But we just don't know for sure what will become of this crush he has or how Ash would respond to it. I don't think Ash will completely blow it all off, because what would be the point of all this hinting and teasing by the writers then? Why would the writers be teasing the idea of a romantic relationship between Ash and Serena over and over again if nothing were to come of it? There was the date episode. Ash giving Serena the ribbon that became a permanent part of her new outfit. They almost danced together in party dance-capades. There was that one scene in the episode where Ash got sick where he just straight up hugged Serena and told her the time is now, and she almost completely lost it. Miette is always teasing Serena about her crush on Ash, and even Bonnie is aware of what's going on. I mean, come on, it would be downright mean-spirited of the writers to just have Ash reject Serena after all of this, or to have her never tell him how she feels. This is the most aggressive push towards a romantic relationship that the Pokemon anime has ever seen before, and I want to believe that it can't all just be for nothing. This is completely different from what happened with Misty, because all of her hints of having feelings towards Ash were only ever present in the 4Kids dub, and not in the original Japanese version. But Serena's crush is just as prevalent in the Japanese version of the anime as in the dub. I think Serena's crush might be hinting towards a big change in the show's structure. It could mean Ash's time as the main character might be coming to an end, in which case, again, what better way to send him off than to have him finally win a Pokemon League? Or maybe Ash might stick around regardless of whether he wins the league or not, and instead Serena could continue her journey with Ash outside of Kalos, kind of like what Brock did. I'd be fine with that if it meant more time for Ash and Serena's relationship to grow. I could make an entirely separate video about this, and I know we're kind of going into fanfiction territory at this point, so I'll go ahead and stop myself right here. I don't have all the answers. I don't know how the Kalos League is going to play out. I could be using past battles as an indication of something when they might not be doing that, as well as looking for patterns that might not actually exist at all. But I will be surprised and downright disappointed if Ash doesn't win this time after having developed such an effective battling style and raising a team of Pokemon with so much potential, as well as a potential love interest in Serena. I know very well that this is still a show for kids, and it always will be, and in the end, that could be the straw that breaks the camel's back with all of this once again. I could be way off base on everything I've said here, and that's perfectly fine by me. I'll be a bit heartbroken, sure, but I'd understand why. These are all just my opinions, what I believe might happen, and why I feel the way I do. As always, you're inclined to agree or disagree with me. All I ask is that we at least be mature about it. So what do you make of all of this? Do you think Ash might actually win this time around? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. This has been Brawmaster012, signing off.